Oh, there we go. We're live. We're live. Probably one of the worst starts to a stream I've ever had. Welcome. Welcome. I saw the previous chats because I did indeed go live a second ago and realized that I hadn't prepared everything, and it started out on the live scene. Cameras ablazing. How's the volume? Is everything okay? First person to comment gets a cookie. William Castro gets a cookie. A beginning of stream first comment cookie. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. HeroQuest fans is probably around here somewhere. He will also get a cookie. Volume is solid? Great. Is the music audible? Is there music? I would like for there to be music in the background. I would like for there to be music in the background. And I would like to... Not hearing music. Hello, Raymond. Let's get that. How about now? Is there music now? It's kind of dumb, but to test this, I need to go to my own live. My own live stream. Which is not showing up on my channel. Is my live streaming to the void? What's happening here? Now there's music. Well, that's good. I hope the music doesn't overpower my voice, though. Like I want it to be at a comfortable level. I just want it to be in the background. And from what I'm seeing, it's at negative 30 dB, while my voice peaks at about negative 20. I'll probably turn it down just a smidgen. Perfect mix? All right. I believe you. My meters are showing weirdness, but you know what? It's what you guys say goes. You're the boss. Hi, hello from Japan. Well, I'm very envious. I cannot wait to someday maybe go back to Japan. How is it there this time of year? Hello from the UK, Ash. Hello, Misamito. How are you? Thank you so much for all your kind support and all your kind comments throughout the jam, the HeroQuest Quest Jam. I was really happy to see all of the enthusiasm throughout the different quests and all the hype. I really like that. It really helped me keep going. I will definitely give you that. So, what are we doing today? It's cold. It's cold in Tokyo. It's cold here, though. It's cold here as well. Like, I was chilly today. Like, I struggled a bit. I thought I might stream in my night onesie, my Snuggie, but I didn't. I put it on, and then I was like, there's no airflow. This is going to get way too hot, way too fast. So I did get too hot. I took it back off. I'm not going to stream in that. And then I got chilly. So I finally found my shirt. I finally found my flannel. I'm good today now. So any news on next year's jam? Any ideas I'd like to share? Yeah. We'll just talk a little bit and hang out and be casual before we get into the meat of the stream. I have some stuff set up off to my side here. We can switch over to the dual camera view, and we're going to homebrew some outdoor scenarios for our favorite dungeon crawlers. And I'll put the S on there just to kind of help add to the idea mix, just in case anybody ever wants to do like a Dragon Strike or a Dark World or a Warhammer Quest. Love outdoors. Let's play outside. We're gonna touch grass today. Any ideas? So I will tell you, after the jam, and I'm actually really happy this happened after the jam and not during, because it kept everybody on a level playing field. After the jam, Squidge Monster updated HeroQuest Builder to be able to accept whatever image you want for the background, upon which all of the furniture and monsters and heroes and traps and all that get layered visually. So you can now use whatever map you want. You have to play with sizing a little bit. Like, you have to know, all right, this grid is 19 by 26 or whatever, 26 by 19, what have you. I got to create an image that's going to confine to that. Or if there's a grid in there, then, you know, the image has got to be that ratio, and then the grid will fit. But nevertheless, people will get used to that. They'll learn how to do that, and it's already got the first light board design, and it's already got the blank board. So you can start out with a completely blank canvas. And I'm not entirely 100% sure how the next year's jam is going to go. I do know that I'm going to host one, and I think I'm going to have to really explore that balance between limits and freedom, because there's a potential for it to just get completely lost. Like, if I say, do whatever you want, that's going to doom me, but it'll be a lot of fun for everybody who wants to make stuff, and it'll be a lot of fun to compile all of those quests in one go and say, here you go. These are all of the quests submitted to the jam in one file. Imagine printing that off, and every single page is just something wildly, completely different and crazy. I like the idea a lot. But the perfectionist designer part of me wants to, like, organize that somehow, and I can't cohesively organize. I imagine Avalon Hill might feel like this sometimes. The pertinent designer, whenever somebody's like, we need a big book that has all the quests in it, they're like, well, that's not how the game is designed to be. So if we do that, are we going to organize them by the suggested lore order, which is going to make some folks obtuse about the freedom style that we currently have? Are we gonna order them in terms of difficulty? We don't have a way to do that unless they use Amalgam Ash's HeroQuest difficulty calculator, available for free on itch.io right now. Or are we gonna order what would you even do? What would you even do? Let's homebrew our outdoor siege weapon operator, heavy scorpions, battering rams, catapults. If you can do it, you can absolutely do it. Run 2 categories at the same time, freedom and strict. That way you get creativity and also a hard constraint category. So it would have to be 2. I have to look into, I would have to experiment a little bit with itch, but I do like that. I would have to see if there's any way I can honestly make it make sense. I think the best thing to do would be to make 2 separate jams, because while we have the ability to have different categories and to sort things into different categories, it would be, I feel like it would be disproportionate to have the judges and myself, hello camera, please focus, get in and say, all right, well, we have, let's say we just have like 10 entries, right? We have 5 strict, and we have 5 anything goes. And let's say we gotta judge them on the same categories, pretty much, right? We want to do an accessibility, because there's a way that you can get inaccessible with the strict, unless I make it so strict that it's impossible to go beyond the constraints of what is accessible. But same formula. So we still have to rate on narrative. We still have to rate on the things that I have already deemed the finest categories in the realm, the all-encompassing subjects that each thing has to hit in order to score and have a chance of winning if they're playing competitively. And I think we would then have to have another, at least one category, 1 or 2 categories. One would be like, here's here's the extra rating that you get for basically the rating that would help categorize that entry. It's gonna be a lot of work no matter what, but I can already tell you that I've been bitten by the bug of it, and my brain is already trying to think of ways to make it the most cohesive workflow ever. And I really think what I'm gonna do is make 2 separate events. That way we don't get into a situation where we're comparing free open quests and strict quests, and ultimately Age is going to judge them in one straight line, vertical, with each thing. It's going to make an order that's best to worst, basically, no matter what I do or how I fudge it. And if somebody gets in there, which all the results become public, if somebody gets in there and they see, their quest is here that they worked forever on, and it was a free open quest, and we had to judge it in categories relative to that context, and then they see the one right above it is a strict quest, they're going to think, there's so much less in their quest. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think they would agree that nothing beats a solid, accessible HeroQuest. A good design is good design. It doesn't matter how much access you have to resources. So I think the roster of judges we have is pretty well seasoned on what that means and how to have an eye for that. Assuming all of the judges would come back next year, and I can tell you now that the judges that I would invite would be, so far I've had a pattern. I judge myself, and I judge, myself, and I also judge myself. I of course invited Squidge Monster and Giles, and Giles fell off the second year, but I felt it was really important to get Squidge involved and keep him involved because his tool was one of the main reasons this jam could exist. And yes, you could have used Hero Scribe. You could use pen and paper. Nobody's chosen to do that. So it wouldn't be much of an event if we didn't have here HeroQuest Builder. It really wouldn't. The accessibility is everything. It's everything. I will say this last jam, people did start making stuff outside of HeroQuest Builder. We got an awesome formatted quest that was really gothic in nature with the frame. We got a really cool one designed by William Connors, which is an honor, by the way. I've got Dragon Quest up there, designed by the man. Supplements for what was it? Dark Sun? Red Sun? God, why can't I ever remember the name of that module, that series of modules? That was basically invented by William Connors, so awesome to have a quest by him in my jam. But yeah, I think it'd be best to separate the two. Separate the two, have one totally strict, have one free-for-all, do whatever you want, and then ask the judges, I went off on a tangent, ask the judges which one they'd like to judge for, or they can judge for both. It's up to them. They can pick up more work or not, and give them a break. And I was saying that I would invite Squidge, of course. By default, he's always going to be my first judge. He's a lovely guy. He's a fantastic guy. An awesome dude. The winner of the first jam, Gimme Your Gold, otherwise known as My Dad is Dracula, who pumps comics out. This is the funniest, most cleverest, cute little comics that you've seen. Also a fantastic guy. Let's see, who did I have this last time? Would absolutely invite back Gig Gon Giddy. He did a good job. And he really called a lot of stuff out. Like, I thought, okay, I'm going to invite him because I had like a running application. Who would like to judge these quests? And I had a couple of people, only like one or two really, reach out. And he had the time. Well, I thought, okay, he's going to probably rate things highly because he's so enthusiastic and so happy about stuff all the time, which we all kind of have that problem. I will be brutal on quests in some ways. Like, if I take a look at it and I'm like, I can't, there's no way to set this up, then, you know, I'm gonna nuke one of its categories. I won't feel bad about that because I feel like you know what you're getting into. But yeah, we've definitely had the problem where stuff is hard to judge because everybody does such a good job. And so I'm thinking, keep going, Giddy. He's gonna be nice, but it'll be okay because I'm sure he's gonna rate everything. No, he was calling stuff out left and right behind the scenes. He's like, should we disqualify this one? I'm like, whoa. Man. So anyways, yeah, I think I'm gonna run with the 2 quest idea for a while, let it sit, marinate, the 2 jam idea, and see if that's just something I want to do. I know that I can acknowledge 2 jams is a lot of work. The subject matter is what's going to be a lot of work. Throwing 2 jams up on itch, and it doesn't really create much more work for me. It's just a little bit more administrative effort to go between the 2 pages. Other than that, it's fine. If it wasn't my first rodeo, I'd be worried, but I'm well versed in the jam event space. I know what I'm doing there. So rules, boundaries, limitations, absolutely. I don't want to have them compare apples and oranges. Some of us can do that. Some of us can say, well, this depends on what mood we're in. What's the context of the meal event? Anything I should pick up before it goes out of print? Well, the monk came back. I'd make sure you have the monk. Pick up everything. Make sure you have one of everything. And welcome to the stream, DT Anderson. Arthritic, good morning. Good morning from my corner of the Midwest in the USA. I've got my Who Makes This Cup? Lewd Complex that I got from Spencer's, I think. It's my favorite coffee cup. What are my thoughts on our community member for the quest, the Italian homebrew, creating the different character packs? Why do I feel like I have an email from that guy? Hold on. I'm gonna go to my email real quick. Critical security alerts. Got some spam. Payment declined. 100 free spins. Sweet, 100 free spins? I could get rich. That's Dados. Dados de Danos. Hi, Ash. I'm Bruno. Yeah. My thoughts on him is Bruno is an amicable guy. They did a crowdfunding in Brazil. They've got Brazilian artists working on it. No AI art. They're working on the launch overseas, US and Europe. You said Italian. But I'm getting Brazilian. But the 4 in this is stylized FOR. This is the classic. We want to make a HeroQuest. We know that HeroQuest is coming out, but we got our own tribute we want to make. And then Avalon Hill's version came out, so they changed some stuff, I think. But this is a pretty legitimately boxed experience. It looks like it's trying to be a commercial release at some point. They produced 3,000 copies and they all sold out. Yeah. And there's 2 people. Bruno, who emailed me, is the art director, graphic design, and idea guy. His business partner is the GD for the game. General designer, I think. I've chatted with him a little bit. And I think the art direction for the board sections look really, really nice. And I think the art is nice and stylized. So I'm thinking it would be pretty cool if they were able to, 1, get an affordable dungeon crawler in Brazil. and 2, get this idea off the ground and going so that they can offer it to the world, because it looks like a lovely, ambitious, earnest project. Hello, Brian Smith. Hello, N Black. Oh, okay, so there is 2 for the quests. Thank you for that clarification. N Black, hold on a second. Let me revisit that. I'm sorry. I didn't know there were 2 different ones. I didn't know one was FOR the quest and one was number 4 the quest. Don't do that. Don't name yourself something that's already taken. Alright, hold on. I'm getting... Pull this volume down. There we go. Hello, Grant Moeller. Alright, I'm watching the video. HeroQuest Italia. HeroQuest Italia. So, the boxes are stylized to look extremely close to the official Hero collections, but they're not infringing, so I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Beautiful presentations on stuff. I can't tell anything about that. I'm not virtue signaling for the Quest Hero collection. The beautiful presentation, but I'm just gonna say now, if the art is AI, I'm all out. That's just my bias. 100% out. Can't trash anybody who, wants this or has fun with it or makes it, whatever. But I can't do it myself. I would not be able to support it on any level. It would effectively die, and I would never acknowledge it. But for right now, the box presentations look really nice. And I'm thinking that this does like 65 US before shipping and are basically Hero Forge prints. Yeah, just I vote for your wallet, grab a Hero Forge print and ignore it, then is what I would do. At some point, something crafted like this is going to take time for an individual, way more than it would take for a company outfitted and equipped for this sort of thing, but so artists who play the game can make a little bit of money this way, but I don't know that they'd be able to I don't know that I'd be able to justify that price for the homebrew product. I can compliment that there's boxes and inlays and presentation looks nice and there's tissue paper and all that. Yeah, but I wouldn't do $65. There's no way. I've been skipping messages. Just started on Frozen Horror with my partner, designed a little special encounter with Violet to set him up a bit. Awesome. Prepare for a lot of death. Prepare for just mountains of bodies. The frozen rivers will run with blood. Run red. How excited are you for Wizards of Morcar? I can't express how excited I am for Wizards of Morcar. It's nuts. It's crazy. I want it in my hands. I want to do video content about it, but more than that, I just want to unbox it and see everything and pull the miniatures out and just be in wonder. It's not like I have anybody to play it with, because I don't have a group of people who have finished the base game, but I cannot wait to homebrew with it. And I cannot wait to see what Avalon Hill have put into it. Anything to watch out for with Frozen Horror? It's hard. So most people will tell you how difficult it is and how imbalanced it is and all of that and blah blah blah. Yeah, no, you should absolutely acknowledge it's going to be difficult. But the most valuable take, and the one that comes up in my mind every time I think about the Frozen Horror, is, oh man, it's been a while. Elfric HQ did a short. One half of the Elfric HQ team did a short and shared his experience with having finished the Frozen Horror using the Zargon app. And he had to hire all kinds of mercenaries, and they were basically getting thrown at the monsters left and right. And yeah, when he was finished, it was they finished by the skin of their teeth. His hero team did, but it was a lot of. He had to hire at one point all 12 mercenaries, I think he said. So it's going to be that kind of experience, and I'm sure that there are people who are like, yeah, rebalance it. It's going to be a meat grinder, but I would probably push your hero players to make sure they're hiring those mercenaries, and tell them to be bold with their mercenaries, exploring and all of that, doing lots of checking for treasure, so that you can get the money for the upkeep. That's what I would do. 4TQ is doing reproductions of Knight and Rogue already, and have the Ranger notice. So are they doing sculpt recasts? Are they trying to basically copy the sculpts? I'm not cool with that. But if it's like their own take on the Knight and their own take on the Rogue, and it's their own artwork and stuff on the Knight and Rogue cards, that's cool. That's what happens when you come out with stuff and it sells out. And people want to maintain that record of its existence. There's a word I'm looking for. It happens in video games all the time. People are like, we pirate video games so that we can have preservation. For the Quest, the Brazilian one, got a full re-release here, and it's going for their first light edition crowdfunding. Very nice board and art. Rules were lacking. This next version has some fixes. That's good to know. That's good to hear. And welcome to the stream, Marcel Martins. 12 mercenaries at once? No way. Yeah, way. Good gold sync quest. I hear so many complaints that Zargons have players too much gold. It offsets well if you use mercs there. So then the only thing is, after that's over, where do you go? What do you do in terms of difficulty? I would say your next expansion, if it's not one of the X packs that offers you mercenaries, to take that out, because they're probably going in a little bit overpowered. And they won't need the mercenaries to help them. So yeah, I can't wait for Wizards of Morcar. Having mercs on torture racks mid-transformation into AFH baddies by Violer. They're embedded with exploding ice crystals set up for the final staff exploding if disarmed, like Trap Join. Nice. Very nice. That's very, that gives me Dark Souls vibes. I like that a lot. Imagine seeing that many mercs on the board. Siege weapon operator would have been the answer. Exactly. Well, this coming summer, hint hint, you'll get your chance to prove that. Yeah, and I think the correct way to go will be to allow people to do whichever one they want. If they want to do both, they can do both. They can do the free and the strict, and they can go ahead and submit to both. So one person can potentially win both. The video presentations of all that, on the other hand, is going to be a completely different story. That's not something that I'm looking forward to. So I'm probably going to keep that vague, because I did 10 quests this last time, but once I pulled everything out, it was like, this used to be fun. It used to be easy. There's so much in HeroQuest now that it's not easy. It's time consuming. So the strict quests would be extremely easy to set up because you're working with just the base game components and amounts. So I like that. So if I do 5 videos for base game stuff, and then I do 5 for free-for-all, the base game stuff will be way easier than what I was doing before, even this year, because I won't be using any expansion stuff. And that's the direction that I would go. If I'm going to be strict, I'm going to be ultra strict and say, we're going old school. You can have just the game system. Not even First Light. But the free-for-all, you can do whatever you want. I think it's just going to be a lot of the same as what we got this year as far as people's their own idea of what to put on the board and their own self-restrictions. They're not taking advantage of the new stuff very much. Like, I got no Skaven on any quest. Even though I was like, you can use Skaven. You can use these particular Skaven. Nobody did the right and privilege quest from Bardic Broadcasts. Nobody put a monster on every single square of the board. But that's okay. I took off the asset overuse and nobody wanted to break it. Did I make them afraid? Did I make them scared? That in years past I was like, that's one door too many, you're out of here. And now I'm like, you can do whatever you want. People are like, I don't trust him. It's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be fun. So anyway, I would like to, yeah, I'm super excited about Wizards of Morcar. I'm gonna go ahead and get pull something up on the screen so we can talk about the different things real quick. And then we'll jump over into homebrew because I have some homebrew stuff I want to share. Wizards of Morcar. Skaven never appeared in any HeroQuest release classically except for the Marvel Winter. They appeared in what some consider like quasi-official releases. So I believe White Dwarf has a quest that has Skaven in it. Of course, these are using the UK rules. And then the it's kind of like a play on the Rats in the Basement quest. And then the Marvel Winter Special, which was a one-shot magazine kind of publication published by Marvel. It had tons of stuff in it. The HeroQuest comic. Most importantly to me, it had some tiles you could cut out of the back cover. But most importantly to me is the 3 Skaven and Troll monsters that are in it. They give them, they give them pretty beefy stats, especially when you consider that this is for the UK EU versions of HeroQuest. But they give you a Skaven warrior. Well, it's not necessarily the only HQ comic is the one that exists in that magazine, and I can get the magazine. I've got it in one of these boxes. I either have it in my classic HeroQuest box or it's in my advanced quest box. I can get that would kind of be a fun time. I could grab that really quick and we could go through some of that. In fact, a picture might be worth 1,000 words. So I might do something rare and stand up. But then I gotta hope that where I look for the comic is actually there. So, one moment, please. One moment. One moment. One moment. Should I transition out? Should I? Yeah, I'll transition out. I'll let you guys chat here in the corner, though. Woo. We're back. Okay, we actually will switch over to the dual camera setup. So, transition. God, I don't know why these won't like fade. They won't fade. I'm gonna have to change my flippin' red forest now because it looks like Stranger Things. No. I didn't pull the hazard. All right, so we got some stuff here in the frame that should not actually be here in the frame. Well, because yeah. So this is it. I will direct your attention kindly to the HeroQuest Marvel Winter Special. A Marvel Winter Special. This is obtainable for £1.50 at your local Time Machine accessible UK comic carrying store. And here's your UPC if you need it. Aye. So HeroQuest merchandise must be won. There's an adventure module. Yeah. And I'll show you the back cover. We got this lovely Spider-Man ad. And you can see where the tiles have been masterfully cut out, except for some. We got a bunch here, though. We got the Circle of Power, the Door of Flame. You'll notice that these have not been republished yet by Avalon Hill. And I could care less about the magazine being republished because this is Marvel's property, but I really think that these need to make a comeback in some way. The Closed and Open Zombie Lair, the Mystery Chests, which appears tiles, notably not 3D sculpts. The Tomb of Gwent. We have some rats around a skull, which does not have a description, so it's not a tile. We have the Mystic Cloud. We have the Portcullis. We have several others which I received with the magazine. But yeah. All right. They had a lot of stuff to give out for that HeroQuest competition. They talk about the HeroQuest computer game. They tease the Men-at-Arms, additional heroes arriving for Wizards of Morcar. And then the Fellowship of Four adventure novel by Dave Morris. This advertises the HeroQuest Adventure Design Kit. This whole thing is really about. And then we have this beautiful holdover art from some Warhammer product. And you know it's a Warhammer product because we've got one of the flags from one of the established factions being used. And then our comic, which I don't want to spoil anything in the end of the comic right away. So we'll get to that, but we have Revenge of the Weatherman, which is a new HeroQuest scenario, and this is the Revenge of the Weatherman scenario here for UK game rule audiences. So basically the same game rules, but all the monsters are going to have 1 BP. Fun fact, Fairweather Man on YouTube, who does HeroQuest content, named himself after this character. Okay, we have the mechanics for the new hazards. The portcullis can be used to block the way on larger passages and requires 1 round to be lifted. Although the portcullis clicks back into an open position, it can close again at Morcar's discretion. The Mystic Cloud, you can place this in any room. When the players enter the room, the Mystic Cloud will attack them, draining the players of 1 body point for every round they are in the room. If a player falls unconscious, the cloud will steal all their magic weapons and spells and disappear. The weapons will be returned only if the cloud is destroyed or if the players complete their task. The Mystic Cloud can be destroyed using the Ball of Flame or Tempest spells. Stormlord, Weatherman, they're different. I do believe they are quite different. This is not Baroche. And the weather wizard Gwent here is named, as well as the evil sorcerer Erongil Corpse Master. So neither of these are Barosh, which is the name of the storm mage or storm lord from our Wizards of Morcar expansion. The trap door will release, if you open it, release a monster that was imprisoned in there, and you can roll to see what it is. Goblin, Skaven, Orc, Famir, Mummy, or Wandering Monster. Now, as to the question of whether or not there are Skaven in the quest, there are not, but that is because this HeroQuest scenario is based on Skaven information that is in this magazine, so we'll go back a little bit and look at that too. The mystery chests, you can put these in any room, and when the players try to open them, roll a combat die. If you roll a round black shield... Oh, the trapdoor doesn't appear in this quest. The trapdoor is not in this. I made a false association there. Completely different. The Revenge of the Weatherman is not using the new hazards. These are not in the Revenge of the Weatherman quest. Mind blank. All right, so if you roll a round black shield, the chest is booby-trapped and explodes by magic. You roll the die again. If you roll a white shield, replace the chest with one of the small explosions, which does 1 point of body damage to every person in the room. If you roll another round black shield, the explosion has been bigger. Replace the chest with the large explosion. And those are the things that are cut out here, the small and large explosions. In addition to losing a body point from the explosion, the players must each roll the combat die to save themselves from damage caused by falling masonry, etc. If they roll a white shield, they are not harmed further, but on rolling a black round shield, they lose another body point. If no black shield is rolled when the players first try to open the chest, allow them to draw a card from the face-down stack of treasure cards. So, the zombie lair. The zombie lair. If the players decide to search the innocent-looking tomb, they will open a zombie lair. Roll an ordinary die. You can summon up to 4 zombies, which is fun because the game only comes with 2. Replace the shut zombie lair tile with the open zombie lair tile and place the appropriate number of zombies in the room. What do we got now? The Wall of Death, which is that one cut out already? Yeah, I have the Wall of Death somewhere around here. I'd have it in my master collection of classic HeroQuest in the homemade box that I made. Use this in larger rooms. A character enters the room, the door shuts behind them, and it's impossible to open except with the genie spell. The wall begins to advance towards the hapless adventurer at the rate of 1 square per turn. In addition, no more than 2 wandering monsters may enter the room through a secret door to do battle. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. The player must kill the monsters and escape through the secret door to escape their impending doom. Once the wall has moved across the room, it will return to its original position at the rate of 1 square per turn, and the previously locked door will open once more, ready to trap another unwary explorer. So the monsters were pretty weak in terms of body points. They make up for this by having creative traps. Any way to have them disarm magic traps? If you're allowing them to disarm a magic trap, or if you want them to be able to disarm magic traps differently, make up a talisman, make up an artifact, and give it to whoever any hero should be able to wear it. But if they wear it, they can disarm magic traps. At either the standard trap disarm or the dwarf trap disarm. You could play with this. You could tier it up. You could have an amulet that functions like the toolkit for magic traps, and you could say it's the trap of the trap. It's the relic of low risk disarming or something. Something to indicate that it gets better than this, and then you could have a level 2 sort of relic where I love this frame where the wizard's just standing there looking at this ball. This is one of the Wizards of Morcar art pieces, and it's as big as it gets, man. They don't get bigger than this. Such a nostalgic style. At this size, it looks like it belongs in one of those grade school storybooks that has you filling out the essays in the back, explaining why you thought the character was right or wrong in their decisions. No amulet required for Explorer character. Amulet required for all others. Yeah, you could do that. You could do it that way. You could say that this particular character can disarm magic traps. I would say that if anybody has that ability, that a spellcaster of some type should be able to have an advantage in that situation. An experienced spellcaster should be advantaged and say, wait, obviously there is an evil magic aura around that treasure chest. I bid thee caution in attempting to open it. Maybe we can disarm it using magical means. And of course that could blow up in his face if he rolls wrong. But that's kind of the direction that I would go. Because I like the asymmetry of the heroes and their abilities very much, and I think that not giving everybody the same stuff keeps them all relevant and keeps them all valuable. And I think that being able to disarm magic traps can make a character who is struggling to maintain their relevancy and their value much more interesting. Alright, so I wanted to show you the Skaven. And we have a few more things here. We have some tips on how to paint, because Games Workshop, they really cared about your abilities to paint. They really wanted you to be able to paint stuff. We've got the dwarf from Advanced HeroQuest here, the mummy, the Chaos Warrior, skeleton, elf. We have this comic called United We Stand, and they kind of, Zol the Barbarian, the Courageous Dwarf, Strom, Galadriel the Elf, and Akron, who is Mentor's pupil in magic. They all get together to try to complete this quest, slicing zombies' heads off. They kind of get into some quarrels here and there. But Morcar, Master of Dark Magic, and if you've ever seen this version of Morcar, this is where it comes from. This comic's image of Morcar is where all of this comes from. Is here, and he's saying, well, I'm going to win because these guys can't work together. But these guys figure out a way to work together, and that allows them to see that they are each other's most valuable allies. And then they all kiss at the end, but they don't show you that. Okay, so we go back to the most important page in this entire book, in my opinion, which gives you the Skaven Warrior, the Rat Ogre, the Troll, and the White Seer. And this is the only time other than that White Dwarf magazine that you will get Skaven in association with HeroQuest. And it's awesome. Give me 1 second to put all that back. Transition. Hi, Ike. Welcome in. Good to see you. Did we ever determine if Morcar and Zargon are recognized as the same person in the in-game lore? Or is Avalon Hill going with a separate person storyline in the WoM expansion? So, I don't have access to the book. So I don't know. I think that there's reveals of it out there, and I don't have those reveals. Unfortunately. We're gonna go ahead and take the music. I'm gonna copy it here. There we go. Now we have music here too. So you might get an answer to your question if you go with somebody more qualified than I to answer that. Good morning, Fawnheart. Welcome in. We have a good roster of people in here today. You guys keep more than one game set up when you have campaigns going, or do you box everything after a session? Oh, God. HeroQuest is too easy for me to want to keep set out and taking up valuable table real estate. I would box it up. Unless they're not finishing the quest, then I would say, well, having only one table as a gamer, unacceptable. Oh, we can lower the music. That's a good idea. I'll do that. Yeah. There we go. Thank you for that feedback. Was it a different volume? Then, doesn't matter. So, I want to show you the outdoor session. We're finally here. So we're going to keep it on this camera setup, and we're going to move myself over here. And I wanted to talk about line of sight outdoors, and this topic was inspired by Indy51, who asked in the Discord if she was going to create a session, a scenario, a quest in between two quests, and had them go outside and then go into the next quest. And if she wants to use the Dragon Strike boards, which is what she's doing, so I got the Dragon Strikes board pulled out. So if you were doing that, how would you reveal monsters on an outdoor board? Well, if you reveal them all at once, that's going to be problematic. So I have a couple of different suggestions for people who want to reveal monsters in an outdoor setting, because your context is going to be wildly different in regards to monsters being in groups outdoors. You've got different circumstances there. You've got different reasons why they could be outdoors. But if you're not doing a skirmish, like a full-on battle, it's not a war game, so I mean, I wouldn't set things up like that anyway. Then you're journeying through an area, and you have little encampments, and you have surprises, and you have bandits, and you have wandering monsters like you would normally. So we're scaling things to this outdoor level, and here's how I would reveal monsters. Yeah, that's exactly right. Make the visitors play. The visitors should be playing HeroQuest. Alright, so I've got a lot of examples here, and I don't know if I'm going to have the time to get through them all. I'll just go ahead and start with the Dragon Strike board, because that's what kind of inspired this question. And so here's the Dragon Strike board. Scaled for classic HeroQuest. It's really scaled for Dragon Strike, but nevertheless, it is a staple in homebrew classic HeroQuest boards because of its availability at the time, and because it just works. So, rather than grab classic HeroQuest miniatures like I should have, I've got some moderns here. That's not a slur. We refer to them respectfully as moderns. we'll go ahead and put up our party, and we'll take my ridiculously long stray hairs and remove them. We have some monsters here as well. I've got us 3 orcs, one of which is an archer, so we can establish some ranged attack threat. We got a couple of goblins, because what's a forest without goblins? And I have a magus knight, just in case there's one patrolling this kingdom. And this board presents us with a lot of unique opportunities to set up encounters the same way you would in a dungeon, where you approach the corner of a hallway, and when you turn, you then see your monsters that are in line of sight. And you also have monsters that are not technically in the hero's line of sight, but are still placed on the board. At least that's how I do it. If you turn a corner and there's a corridor with 2 monsters, I'm putting them both down. And that's an interpretation of the rules as written, but that's how I do it, and I reckon that that's how the vast majority of players does it. Thank you very much, Ike, for the $2. This is for 0.00000001% of a Warhammer Mini. That is accurate. But you know what? I am 1/1,000,000th of a way to acquiring my next classic Warhammer Mini. So that's where that money will go. Thank you. The kind words and the hype in the comments keeps me going more than any kind of donation support ever could. But yeah, no, it's appreciated all the same. So little round of applause for Ike, who could have instead purchased the coffee tier and gotten their name in the credits for an entire month and permanent Discord access. But 4 heroes, and the makeup of the heroes isn't totally important in this case. We have a barbarian, we have a druid, struggled with that one for some reason. We have a wizard, and we have a dwarf. And yeah, I've got some mythic tiers. I just grabbed a handful. No, you're okay. If you pop into the Discord, I'll make sure you get access to the rest of it. No. Absolutely no. They all tax out the same to me. It's just, it keeps it easier to know who the heck is at which tier and who gets let in and all that. And the Discord is just getting inundated with the worst kinds of bots. Like, Discord itself is just getting worse and worse. So I gotta have that stupid paywall up. Warhammer Quest Darkwater Bank. It's tough. That's, yeah. Oh, Ike, welcome to Coffee Funding Goblin. You're a legend. Welcome. Thank you for funding my coffee addiction. We're all going to, hold on, we're gonna celebrate our newest coffee tiered member. I raised my favorite coffee drinking mug in Toasty. Thank you, Ike. Even though Ike expressed vehemently his ill contempt with my decision to not sleeve any of my cards in any of my games, it still has very much been a fantastic video commentator. Stupid ad. There was an ad? Does YouTube interrupt live streams with ads? Like Twitch? I thought that was one of the things that YouTube had going for it. Like, oh, that's stupid. I'm so sorry. I mean, on the one hand, I want to monetize my stream, but I don't want it to be interrupted. I want you to see, like, little ads off to the side or whatever. Oh, that sucks. Oh. You're gonna have to get, you know what? You're gonna have to get YouTube Premium. Once you do it, just do it for a month, and I can almost promise you will not go back. Got one just as praise. Thank you so much. Here's an ad after you already paid. That is so ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Sigmar, save us. Interrupted during Skaven lore. They can't. That's... I'm gonna have to deal with them. I'm gonna have to deal with them using violence. Welcome on in, the smoking GM. We'll get back to the homebrew now that the adpocalypse is done for everybody. Back to the homebrew. Transition. That really needs to have a fade. I can't believe my fades are not working. Just at every stream, something breaks. Every stream. I don't have my streaming avatars because they've decided to break. And they're here. They are here. There are 5 people represented, 6 people represented by streaming avatars who've decided not to show up on my screen. I don't know why. It drives me nuts. It's every other, without fail, every other stream. They don't work. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the little characters that'll go across the screen. They appear whenever you talk and chat. They're supposed to incentivize engagement, but they can't do that if they're not working. Anyways, back to the outdoors. I haven't given you a single idea. Let's say, for example, our heroes start up here, in frame, of course, and you're going to have monsters all out here. They're all doing their thing, but you're not going to put them on the board as Zargon because the heroes can't see them. Now, you might put a monster off to the side to be in this starting zone, and this is a pretty big zone. I mean, this is a pretty expansive area. So if you put a monster down, there are things that are going to happen. Now, before we go any further, I want to discuss line of sight real quick. To you, and to anybody watching, it should be clear that the wizard who is in this square, rules as written, has pretty clear line of sight to almost every single square on this board. In fact, the only places this wizard would not have line of sight is where we might decide the trees would block it. And if the trees are blocking it, and these boulders, which I assume are the size of man, are blocking it, then the wizard cannot see in this encampment, the wizard cannot see in this grove, and the wizard can't see behind these bushes. And the wizard can't see behind this rock, and I would presume can't see this square, probably can't see these 2 squares here, or any of the other logarithmically sensible places. But I don't want you to worry about any of that, because you don't need to worry about any of that. We're actually going to say that there are trigger points. Trigger points. You cannot see monsters that are that far away. They can't see you. You're outdoors. We need to say that this is not as small as it is, but it is a bit more expansive. So I still want you to play with the same movement dice mechanics. I still want you to have the exact same movement and all of that. But we're not going to put monsters down the board until we reach a trigger spot for line of sight. And so the trigger spots for this board are going to be if a character reaches this spot in particular, and you're Zargon, you can do what you want, but if I'm Zargon, this is how I'm doing it. This spot. Then, and only then, will they be able to see monsters in this outdoor section. This outdoor section is considered a room for all intents and purposes because of this layout. So, otherwise, you can't see them from the beginning, but as soon as you step here, you can see everybody. You can see all the people over here, you could see anybody down here, except for anything that's being blocked by foliage and whatnot. But I'm here to tell you that while that would be a little bit more cohesive with the rules as written, and it would be super easy to set up and kind of visualize, it's going to make the quests slightly less interesting. There's a little less danger because now, well, there's simultaneously more and less danger. Your ability to surprise the heroes with an encampment is lessened, and you have the opportunity for way more monsters to be on the board than you would in a normal encounter. And what happens then? Now this becomes a skirmish game. So we have some interesting edge cases in comments. I will address those. But first, I do want to say that I think it'd be important to say, once you get to a spot on the board, that will reveal what's beyond the spot, the same as if you opened a doorway. And if you don't get to that spot, you don't reveal the monsters. When you get to this spot, if I have an orc planned to be on this road, I'm going to put him on this road. But if you're just one square away, the orc's not on the road. And that's going to be a point of contention for some people, maybe. But only now, I've had this game for years, and it's only now that I noticed that there's a giant hand holding a tree coming out of the forest. Do you see that? That's crazy. What the heck? Dragon Strike is a whole new... God, it's its own beast, man. It's crazy. I never stopped to think what kind of creature is making these tracks either. It looks like it could be the dragon, but the dragon's supposed to be bigger than that. We've got these giant purple eggs in this other tree. Anyway, board art's awesome. I love it. But I'd put the skirmish down, and I would say that you don't have to explain anything. You could go ahead and say it's because the monsters were waiting to ambush a hero. Honestly, if they're in waiting when the hero is here, and they're in waiting when the hero is here, they're not going to come out. The hero's not going to see them. You're not placing anybody on the board. So as soon as the hero steps on this square, that's the monster's signal to say, hey, we got another one. Come out and let's get him. And they'll all come out at once on that signal. So I would justify the sudden appearance of monsters as soon as you step on a trigger point as them coming out to ambush the hero. Now, I wouldn't change anything else about this. As soon as you step on this trigger point and these monsters are revealed, it's not like your turn's over. You can still run up to one and attack one. You can still go the opposite way. You could still go hit multiple trigger points on the board and reveal more and more monsters. You could do that in my game. I want the bridge to be a trigger point. I don't want you to be able to see anything past the bridge if you're on this side until you have stepped on the bridge closest to the land that has monsters to reveal. Again, you're only going to reveal what's in line of sight because this board just so happens to be designed in such a way that even if you put monsters down in what I'm going to call a region, even if you reveal everything in that region, or the outdoor room basically, or term for term, you still have these points here where you can hide a monster and say, he was hidden. He's on the board, sort of. He's out of view, so I don't have him on the board, but he's here. And now we're going to go by normal line of sight rules. So I'm gonna stay cognizant that as soon as a hero thinks that all of these monsters have been dealt with and they are gone and done, as soon as a hero enters any line of sight point from this monster, it will appear on the board the same as if a hero turned a corner in a corridor. And again, the hero is free to do as he wishes with the rest of his movement and turn. This doesn't activate any sort of like wandering monster effect. None of that. But the monster is now there on the board and you have to address it at some point or it's going to come up and hurt you. Addressing the camp points. You're Zargon, you have options here. You can say, well, when you get to this point, and at this point your heroes are going to move one square and they're going to look up at you to see if you're doing anything, and then they're going to move one square and then they're going to look up at you to see if you're doing anything. And then they're going to move again and look at you. It's going to be great fun for you as Zargon. And then as soon as, if you don't put anything down at that point, they'll be like, whoa, fine. And then they'll move again, and then you can place the monsters. You have options here. You can play it corridor rules, where, and that's really what I should have started with. We have corridor logic and we have door logic at work here. As soon as you step on this square, by corridor logic, reveal all the monsters that you have line of sight to. Doesn't affect your turn, they're just on the board. Room logic is where these reveal points, these trigger points come into play. So if you decide this is a corridor, you can do that. That's fine. If you decide it's a room, you can do that. That's fine. Be consistent in the same quest, or don't. That's fine too. But yeah, I would treat as a corridor, so you reveal a monster as soon as you see it. This I'm treating as a trigger point, so as soon as you step here, you see the room. I said that this would be the trigger point for this node as a room. This would be the trigger point for this region, this node, to be a room, because you might not want your heroes to start here. You might want them to start here. You might want them to come out of a staircase tile that is here and start in this area. And so by doing it this way, by kind of playing with the corridor and room reveals, you keep your heroes guessing. You keep them navigating the area as carefully as they might a dungeon. And now we're going to switch back over and read a little bit of chat before we continue. Transition. So, wow, we have a lot. I'm sorry, hold on. Whoa. Agreed with boulders, trees, things like that blocking line of sight. I think it's great. I also think that if you have a spell that travels a certain amount of tiles, that same line of sight blocker should act as a wall, and the spell should not be able to go past it. So you can get behind a tree or a rock and be safe from like an area of effect spell. HeroQuest has this thing of people placing units of measurement, and when the game never says anything about how large anything is. Agreed. Yeah, we're just trying to equate the outdoor experience in as logical a sense as possible as with an indoor experience. HeroQuest fans. Oh no, above that. Welcome on in, HeroQuest fans, by the way. Smoking Gin, William Castro. What about heroes being engaged by monsters they can't see? So I would basically... Dragon Strike's got that down on lock. I would say if you are going to incorporate that, just do what you would do if you had monsters appearing out of the line of sight attacking from nowhere. If you want to do an ambush point, we'll talk about ambush points and how they will function similarly to trigger points, which I need a better word for that. Don't use that and say Ash calls this a trigger point. I mean, you can, but I don't want to stay with that name. It's basically the outdoor equivalent of a door, though. But if you get onto the tile that is going to activate the ambush from monsters you can't see, I would start thinking about, do you want to reveal in which direction the attack is coming from? Are your heroes getting shot by arrows? So then, like, that hero is going to know what direction the attack is coming from. If they get shot in their left leg by an arrow coming from the east, you have to be able to say, well, you roll for defense, but also the attack came from over here. So you might point at a square and say that that's where the ambush is, or that's from where the attack came, and you can treat that like a trap, like a searched for trap. And you could also treat it like it is a trap, like after it's been revealed, maybe it is a trap, just shooting arrows. But you also can reveal the monster on the next turn. It gets tricky there. It gets tricky, and it's a little outside the scope for just the outdoor convo, because it's something that you can do with indoor stuff too. But yeah, I would definitely, if you're gonna have them attack the heroes when it's the hero's turn, reveal them, and then if you really want this to be like a hit and run operation and they run away on the next turn, the heroes should get their turn in. If they can reach the monster, then great. If it's up on a cliff, they can't reach it, they're gonna have to find places to take cover. If they don't have a ranged attack, that is. And then on your next turn, move that monster out of the line of sight and take it off the board if you want. Dragons demand better working conditions. Ike using the Vierge emoji. Might be the first person to ever use a Vierge emoji. Reminded of Ghostbusters. Swim the river, but watch out for the river monster. Are you wanting to avoid disclosing entities or also terrain? So I got some terrain out here too, some third-party terrain that I will place on the board. If you're talking about like when we have furniture and rooms that gets revealed, yeah, you can put that down after you have stepped on a reveal point. What I've taken away from this, do whatever you'd like. Not necessarily. I mean, you do whatever you like, but I want to establish a nice, clear system where it makes sense to do what you like, you know? You can always do what you like because you're Zargon, or because it's your game, or because the table of players that you have at your house are fine with whatever. But like, how do you go about that? What are some ways you can start doing that? And that's what I really want to push here. I think the system would work, but some players may find it inconsistent. I've got a set of players that really like to... So you got some rules lawyers. So I think that you're basically looking for monsters, furniture, and anything else that you would reveal in a room when you open the door to that room. I would remind your rules lawyering players that the rules say to lay out everything in a room. Hold on. Hold on. There. Giant meaty hand. Okay? It says to do that. But something that I found kind of interesting when I was playing Lurchbrick's video game is what you reveal in a room is not always going to actually be in the player's line of sight. So, when you set a hero down and you reveal everything in that room, if it's a room full of monsters, like how I have it laid out right now... Whoops, I keep putting heroes. And that one just went on the floor. Well, you deserve to be on the floor then. This rules is written. This should work. I've put everything in the room, because we're going to call this a room. We have to give it an outdoor, functionally equivalent name. So we'll call it a node, we'll call it a region, we'll call it a room. We'll use those terms interchangeably because it doesn't matter, as long as you know what I'm talking about. But this goblin right here, rules is written, I should put him down, but he's not in the hero's line of sight. Think about that while I retrieve my monster. The orc went under the table. Orc had a crossbow and launched themselves. Okay. They put themselves in the longbow Looney Tunes style and fired themselves like an arrow under my desk. Reveal point, activation point. You can call it whatever. I'm flip-flopping between terms, but yeah, all those define it very well. So, Quentin, welcome on into the stream. I love it. It's open to adding other aspects from the games to your own creations. Absolutely. About the origination of an attack, I'm playing Stalker at the moment, and it has an attention token. That is a feature I absolutely love. It might be worth looking into. I will. I've heard some pretty good things about Stalker, probably from you, actually. But I don't know anything about it, so I need to check it out. Oh, no. It was another person who was asking for homebrew stuff for stealth mechanics in HeroQuest. And I suggested a battleship type. How often do you play HeroQuest, Ash? Solo, I play it frequently, sort of. I have to kind of weave in and out of HeroQuest to do other stuff. I haven't played through a lot of the campaigns with the app. I do a lot of studying of the campaigns so I can look at their difficulty, but Pete Weiss, welcome on in. Good to have you here. I would remind the rules lawyers that I have a shovel and some large trash bags. Look guys, trash bags are expensive. Don't rules lawyer at my table. Don't rules lawyer at a table in a game where it literally says, hey, try to have fun. Sword and Sorcery puts tokens in undiscovered areas to designate rooms. I need to play Sword. I need to look more into Sword and Sorcery. Astute eyes might view the corner of a Sword and Sorcery box right there. But I have not... it's wrong screen. You can't see that. It's like 3 pixels by 4 pixels. But I haven't really played it. I just... It's a partial box I got from a kind viewer. I think I just do what I've done. Place anything on an outside map once a hero is in 12 squares of a monster, a group of them. It's been easy over the years. See, I don't mind that. That's more of the corridor rules. Pile of shame. I think it's fine to be a little less consistent on revealing stuff in the outdoors, as it's an organic space versus a more defined space underground. It feels a little more dangerous or wild. Yeah. So you can get creative, but at some point your serious players are going to want to not feel like they're just playing a game with what is essentially like a big kid saying, and now, just because I think it would be fun, we're gonna have a dragon. You really want something that's scalable. So, yeah, reveal anything within 12 squares is certainly consistent, and it's certainly scalable. But I'm wondering, in a place where you've got... Go back to where you were, Talisman of the Dragon. Go back. There you go. Good job. Appreciate you. In a setting where you have outdoor stuff. Let's... Hold on a second. My wife recently asked if I ever play the games I buy. You don't answer that. Don't answer that. City board's pretty cut and dry. We don't have to go over that. You can apply corridor and room rules to that pretty easily. Castle board, cave board. Cave board's kind of interesting. You can reveal stuff node-wise this way, or you can just do line of sight. And that's what I would do with a board like this. Everything line of sight as the players are walking. The only problem with doing it this way with this board is it might be difficult for Zargon to keep track of where the monsters are and how many have been slain and who's left, because you might reveal 2 goblins here in this room if you happen upon this square as a barbarian, and then decide I'm going to kite them out, and then you come up here, go over here, in hopes that the goblins will chase you, and you do that so you can come together and kill the goblins, just in case there's like 3 abominations and a dread warrior over here, because if you go around the corner and then they appear, well, at least you've had the goblins taken care of first, right? So that's why, another reason why I think just line of sight, it might get a little messy for the Zargon if you're working with certain quests where your heroes are behaving in that way. The reveal method works really, really well with the default HeroQuest board, because it's all rooms, and then it's corridors that just reach across the board. I added a bounty hunter aspect to my game. Heroes can earn bonus gold for slaying certain monsters during each quest. I think that's great. Lovely. Are you backing Loki Battle Mats Dungeons Reignited? Yes, I have backed it. I have all of the Loki Battle Mats books of that size, and I actually wanted to show them as well. Before I do, this is the Maladum board, represented by a neoprene mat. If you're going to play on a space this big, you'd reveal everybody. I mean, there's no reason to advance unless you are working with a magical restriction that says that you can't see more than X amount of spaces in front of you, which I highly encourage that, because that's fun. That is cool. But if not, then you should realistically be able to see all of the monsters, put them all down. The HeroQuest becomes a skirmish game. That's not as fun to me. I would not prefer or suggest that method. So I do like my outdoor scenes to have lots and lots of terrain and roll. We have some stuff here from the Tome of Maps, sent in by Snowy. Snowy's Maps, you can go check out her Patreon. She got a lot of these maps on her Patreon. All freely available at affordable tiers. Not necessarily designed for HeroQuest, but ultra super able to adapt these to HQ use. You see they do have a different aesthetic. than the Loki's battle maps. It's a little more cartoony. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's a little more colorful, a little more simplistic. There's a little bit more decoration to things as well, so things are built in a little bit more. But this is pretty easy to apply room and corridor rules to. We have a set of maps here representing all these different stalls, which I thought was super interesting, because you could have a scene if you have enough NPCs. But that is a topic for another day. We'll go ahead and move these off to the side. The town scenes. Town scenes in HeroQuest. I got a couple of videos that kind of represent towns. I have something similar in my campaign. Total gold earned is equivalent to the monster's total body points. Yeah. Slay a goblin, get a gold. I have Dark Quest 2 on the PS4. Plays very similar. I just got Dark Quest 2. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan myself. I kindly got a key from the developers, and I was like, I can't use this because I don't run video games on my HeroQuest channel, and I don't pay attention to my Amalgamash channel right now. But they said go ahead and use it anyway. But I just got bored. I got bored. And I've been wanting to play it forever, so it's a shame. We have a couple of Loki books I'm going to show really quick. Again, Towns and Taverns. This one's similar to Snowy's. So you could use the outdoor rules here basically the same way, with revealing monsters in line of sight as soon as you turn a corner, or as soon as you enter a room. And allow elements that are baked into the map imagery, such as the statue, to block line of sight or block the reveal of certain monsters. Yet honestly, breaking things down into corridor and room reveal is the correct way to proceed with using an outdoor map, I feel. And using a trigger point to reveal a group of monsters and consider a section of board as one room. This would obviously be, to me, it would be one room. As soon as you step into any of the entrances, bam, put all the monsters down in it. I would like to, if I had more time, I'd talk about height and kind of how height would change the dynamic of all of this. But instead, because I have them out, we're actually going to switch gears here. I want to like hex grids, but squares so much easier. I was well, probably can't talk about that. Hex grids. I want to make a hex grid map printed for the HeroQuest board. I did it digitally. But did you know that if you just take a grid of squares and you shift every other row down by half a square, it gives you functionally the exact placement of hexes? So take every other row of a grid. We'll call this row 1, or you can do row or column, so there's technically 4 ways to alter any map. But you do 1 column, 3rd column, 5th column, shift them all down by just 1/2 of a square. And now all of the adjacent squares accessible from any other square equate to those accessible if they were hex. It's like stupid easy. It doesn't look as good as hex, in my opinion, but then you can draw things out square. All right, so I brought out some stuff here. We have a little bit of height, and height is not something that's mentioned in HeroQuest. We don't have height in any of the dungeons. We don't have any areas that really are affected by line of sight due to being elevated versus not elevated. The only kind of height that we really have are pits, and if you fall into a pit, it's a bad thing. You're not necessarily disadvantaged. So I'm thinking we'll talk more about line of sight in situations where height matters, because as a dwarf or any hero standing here on this raised terrain, this perceived raised terrain, we have a wall here behind which a goblin could appear. And I don't feel like you should be able to see that goblin, but I would like to think of ways to make this make sense, where the goblin's not placed on the board until it's in the dwarf's line of sight, or the goblin is able to make a sneak attack. And then, will this hinder movement at all? Will the dwarf be able to just step here and attack the goblin? Will we just regard this as having the high ground, so to speak? Will that give the hero any sort of advantage? Those are things to consider, I think, in a future episode. I wanted to say, if you have these terrains in these maps, which this is the wilderness. This is a bit of a flex, I'm sorry. It's not available commercially anymore. You have to hunt this down on eBay, and it's kind of ridiculously priced. But they've said they can't reprint it again, so I guess they might have had a license done, and they don't have the rights to reprint it themselves. Maybe it just wasn't profitable and they will not reprint it. So I'm sorry to show that off, but if you are having these wide open spaces and you feel like you could do with a bit of extra wall here and there, you can always, this is not what I wanted to do, here we go. You can always take a third-party asset and make your own walls. So I'm using Dirt Cheap Dungeons here just to illustrate this point. Dirt Cheap Dungeons cave set, and we'll place those down right at the edges. They're a bit curved. They are a bit curved, so it makes it a little bit difficult to say what tiles they should block, because they're encroaching on tiles that I feel should not be blocked by their presence. But you can put in your own walls. You're just going to run into the slightly little problem, if you can call it that you're going to have walls that are not 3D, and then you're going to have walls that are 3D, and that might take your players' heads a little bit out of the immersive space. So, stuff like that. You could absolutely put down 2D walls, which would be even cheaper than Dirt Cheap. And yeah, you got it, Quentin. There are plenty of 3D papercraft objects and HeroQuest item cards that can be downloaded online, printed out on cardstock paper. Somebody out there, if they haven't already, and I can't imagine they haven't, just print off some white lines with black borders that represent the same walls that we have in HeroQuest, and then just place those down. Even better if you have them printed off on some really good quality paper or cardboard. Warhammer Quest lets you roll to get tokens when you kill stuff. You transition back real quick. Catching up on chat. We're going to reverse this now. I'm just going to watch you guys chat. You're going to entertain me. That's how the stream will go. Oh, welcome on in, Christensen. If I forgot to welcome you, sorry about that. You might have slipped in when I didn't see. I was up to my eyeballs in line of sight crafting. Duplex tabloid. What model's your printer, Ike? I want to be in the market for something that can print these materials for my Project F, because I've got stuff on a photography matte border board that I have drawn on and colored in and taped over so that it would be protected, and I've done it a few times, and now I'm ready to print off some new. It just so happens I think my grids are 11 by 17. I'm ready to print off some new stuff to use as prototypes. The HP 7740. It's about 300 years old if it works. Unless, of course, it's hard to get ink for now. Thank you. I'm going to look it up. What's the maximum range for projectiles in an open terrain? I say if you can see the monster, you're close enough to fire. If you've revealed the monster on the board, fire at him, because in the dungeon, you have 26 spaces of range legally, and you can fire at a monster that's, 25 spaces away from you if it's all the way across the corridor. So let him do it. You could alter that rule set if you want to add more rules in, but if you want to leave it alone, leave it alone. And if they want to fire over the river, like in the Dragon Strike example, they can do that, I think. If you do that, and you start putting monsters down that have bows, tell your players, I let you fire over the river. Now it's their turn. It does not do manual feed. I need to look this printer up. Since I got into IT, I have access to new and exciting and interesting printers. And I've come to the realization that they just all suck. But I'd like to check some. My personal printer is a Canon Pixma 500 or something. It runs on toner, but it's only black and white. But the reason that I have it is because it's toner, and I never have to worry about ink, and I don't have to worry about having to buy, $100 worth of ink. Black and white is a fine trade-off. But it would be cool to have one that did color tanks. And it would be really cool, especially if that printer was able to print on something nice and board game material thick. Let's go to the local print shop. Now that's very reasonable logic. You could also use them like those enemy contact tiles from Space Crusade. Just to add on to that, you could definitely use the Space Crusade blip token logic in an outdoor area in HeroQuest if you had some kind of spell that was like, let's reveal and see if there are any monsters in this terrain. Also play low furniture rules. I recently had somebody comment on a video where it was the Amalgamate Cycle playthrough, said, well, I'd love to continue those someday, but I would actually like to edit them down and be more lore-ish instead of like pure gameplay. But I have my 4 new edition characters running through a dungeon, and I have one jump on a table. Either that or it was a jam presentation, but I think it was Amalgamate Cycle. And somebody jumped on a table, and the comment was like, you can't do that. And I'm like, there's absolutely no rule that says I can't do that, actually. Have a counter, actually. But I mean, I don't care if people do it or not. Just maintain consistency and do whatever you want. Establish it at session 0. Establish all this stuff at session 0. You can't jump on bookshelves. I'll let you jump on tables. You can't jump on alchemy desks or wizard desks, or don't let them at all. How do you guys store HeroQuest expansions in a closet, unopened, unplayed? I can show you how I stack mine. Here you go. They're all on the top, 2 shelves of my white unit over there. Completely overshadowed by my Elden Ring. But they are, they're up there. And then my classic HeroQuest expansions are right behind my head. I've got... wrong hand. Mirror movement. I got HeroQuest Advanced Quest, HeroQuest, the one from my childhood, which I can't bring myself to get rid of, even though I have the superior version. Space Crusade's there, and then I have the 2 UK EU only releases and 2 US only releases. And if I move a little bit, I've got some reproduction boxes for Wizards of Morkar and Against the Ogre Horde. But I'd so much rather have the originals if I get my hands on them. But of course, that would be just money thrown in the paying for more cardboard and paper. I've got the base game all in its box, and I grabbed the little expansion for whatever we're playing. Which is, I recently did that. I had everything super boxed, and now I have put everything back in their expansion boxes because I come to the realization I'm not going to have a party that plays through all this stuff. It can be separated. Even if I did have a party that played through it all, I can separate it. I'm done presenting jam quests for the year. I can separate it back out. Got the base game. I use it as a skill called Tabletop Tactics, which allows certain melee characters to ignore furniture items when moving or attacking with line of sight. All my stuff inside my core box is still sealed. I play on Steam weekly with the reprints the old versions and break out and make new friends in retirement home. Yeah, I'll break out my stuff anytime. If somebody wants to come over and say, let's play HeroQuest, but I want to play the 1980, I want to play the old one, we'll do that. I'll break out the old one. I love handling the classic minis. Love the wooden dice. And I will never not. So, I mean, it doesn't bother me at all to continuously just reduce the value of it by throwing them minis around that classic board. Yeah, Ike, you get it. I have also justified buying stuff so I can play retirement in 10 years. If I have people to play with, I will always kind of slide the suggestion. I'm like, you want to play a simple dungeon crawler? Absolutely. Oh, yeah, I don't record sessions. We've talked about it. In fact, my brother-in-law, he has a Magic the Gathering card opening channel, and he opens up Yu-Gi-Oh! And One Piece and stuff. He actually hasn't done that in a while, but I could be wrong. He might be actively doing it, but I don't watch because I don't play I don't play any card games at all. But like, they're shorts. They do reasonably well. But at some point, we were going to set up equipment over there and go ahead and have cameras set up on everybody. And we were doing this regularly enough that it would have been really fun and it would have been totally practical. But we stopped and then they moved. So all that came to a standstill. But we were going to have basically, how do I want to put this? I wanted to make a show out of it. I didn't want it to be just like a battle report. We were going to go do like the standard YouTube style editing and zooming in on people and all that. Whenever something crazy happened, the idea was you'd start to watch the video and you'd be like, what's that crazy Ash's sister-in-law gonna do now, or whatever. And we have a very, very good, how shall I say this, synchronicity, rapport. We're a good crowd when we're together. I mean, we're always cracking jokes and stuff, but everybody wants to have fun. Like, we all have the exact same frame of mind when we get in there. Nobody tries to rule. We only rules lawyer when we're like, I don't want to play this the wrong way for 2 hours. And then the third hour, we figure out that this whole game is borked. What does that rule mean? But we're usually all on the same page. Like, well, yeah, I'm looking it up right now. And then if we can't find it, we're like, can we agree on what it means? And I can't ask for a better table, but we haven't gotten together to play. But solo, yeah, play. And then I love when Avalon Hill have app updates. And if I don't have an app update, like I don't reckon we're gonna have an app update with Wizards of Morcar day one. If we do, I will do a video where I do nothing but applaud Avalon Hill. Like, I'll be like, this is for you guys. This is for 10 minutes straight. But no, I don't reckon we're gonna have that for a while. So the first while, I'm just gonna be going through and studying everything and running things through calculators. I won't be playing it, but I'll be studying it. Oh, hello, Giles. Missed you coming in. Ahoy from Blighty. No, I haven't been able to get anybody else on camera. I don't think. Did I? I don't think I've ever gotten my brother-in-law on camera. I know I haven't gotten my sister-in-law on camera. My brother-in-law and I were going to actually unbox some HeroQuest miniatures together. We were going to do 2 boxes of Valiant comics. I have fond memories of reading Valiant comics like Bloodshot and God, what was the other one that I liked? Oh no, I can't remember. But the miniatures were so cool. It was also, I think, Dark Horse. Maybe it was just Dark Horse, but it encompassed all these different other comics. And I'm like, let's get together and unbox these. I'll unbox mine, you unbox yours. But we didn't get to it, and we ended up just unboxing them separately. Yeah, Shar has been on camera. You can find her if you go hunt down videos. She played, I think, the Druid in the Druid playtest, which should be up, so... Yeah, take your stuff to a game store space. I would do that too, but I don't have any local game stores. The closest game store is literally 50 minutes of driving away, and I don't think that they want to play a dungeon crawler. There's a lot of 40k dudes out there. There's a lot of 40k dudes. And they're always playing either Magic the Gathering or... If I drive an hour to Miniature Market, I bet I could get something going there, but you're looking at a time sink that I can't make. I can't make. I don't know if they tried to re-release HeroClix. Use infinite dungeons and made new cards for new furnitures, for new monsters and furniture. I like infinite dungeons. Oh, that reminds me. Oh my gosh, I was going to do a giveaway. So I've got Giles McNeil's Sunday Quest, the latest one. Hey, Ike made it to the Discord. He's in. Ike made it to the Discord. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. If people want access to the Discord, it's paywalled. You can get in. There's a sampler channel. There's an access channel, but there's like 40 channels beyond that. I absolutely took all the people who helped me build the community and put them behind my paywall with me. But I can't stand the way that Discord's become. There's people that'll join and it'll just say deleted user because they've already banned themselves because they're bots in other servers that are spamming inappropriate links. So I need to do a dice roller app. I wanted this to be live and online and stuff. Virtual dice roller. Here we go. Because I wanted people to see. So now I got to get the list of people, and I don't have my second monitor going. I knew I was going to forget something important. Giveaway channel. All right, so I've got a list of people who have voted on, basically who entered into this giveaway. There's 8 people, and I'm going to give them numerations here. The final entrant list, as is posted in my giveaway channel on November 17th, is Deathtone, Ribby, Ryujin Katsuya, Uber Dark Knight, Seek Hashem, Liorlek, and Xerxes. So there's 7 people. I'm one of the 8 people, so I have to discount myself, but I did that because I wanted to make the emoji that I wanted them to click. Anyway, there's 7 people. So we are going to switch the view to live really quick. I got someone on Discord every week trying to sell AI art. Exactly. And that's an instant ban in my server. Seems like you should just move to the UK. You know what? Why not? Just hop on over to Pond. One of these days I will. One of these days I'm going to make Spiel or something over the UK Games Expo or something over there. Channel's got to get bigger first. Lizurin should be putting out AGS 5 and Uncharted Dungeons 2. I don't support Lizurin's products because of the slop. He knows I don't, and I'm not welcome to have free stuff anymore because of it. I reckon. We definitely fell out of touch after I was like, so I can't push this because it's commercialized. The drama. Nah, it's been a couple years. I think Game System... So AGS 5 is out, so I think I have the first... I had the first 2 or 3, so it's been going a while. And I didn't know about it because I don't deal. Let's see here. Streaming. What will that look like? That'll look like this. So then I can go do this. This might be okay. Alright, so this is going to look a little funky. But here's what we got. Here's what we got. Dice roller. I don't have 2 monitors, so you have to bear with me here. Sides on a dice, 7. Number of dice, 1. Who is going to win? The copy of Sunday Quest that I received from Giles McNeil is going to be complete with all of the errors and everything. Going to be a super rare find. You can, of course, buy this on Amazon. The proofed and corrected copy is there. But I'm giving away the copy that I have. So, who will win this? If I make a video of my HeroQuest game, can I mention you or post a link to your channel? If not, then I won't. You absolutely can. Absolutely. I'm honored and privileged. And I toast you for your kindness. Even if it's to say, don't subscribe to this guy. Nil Bog would tell you not to do that, but she lives under my sink, so what I say goes. Sides on a dice, 7. Number of dice, 1. We have enumerated the people from the a few minutes ago. I'm going to hit start, and whoever the number lands on is who wins that object. And we'll have to re-roll if it turns out that the winner is in the UK, because I can't ship to the UK because it's crazy expensive. But I'm pretty sure I made that clear, so everybody should be a US participant. Unfortunately, that's what I got to do. So we will now start the dice roll, and it's rolling. I love that. That's so dramatic. Oh, I have to hit stop. I have to hit stop. So it's currently rolling, as you can see. I literally have to hit stop. All right, we're going to stop it. We're going to stop it now. 6. It is 6. The winner is 6. So we're going to get back to this screen. I'm about to congratulate somebody for winning. My goodness. I forgot about the other stuff I wanted to give away. I can't, it's too late now. It's too late to give stuff away now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The winner is Liorlek. The winner is Liorlek. As decided by random die roll on stream today. That was easy and short. Interesting. There's a comment, low-key interested in the process calculator. For some reason that did not show up on my... Oh, there we go. Oh my goodness. Some chat messages that have not been showing up. No, I think they've all been showing up. Maybe not. Welcome, TSL Frontman. I'm sorry if you showed up and commented earlier. I had my live chat set to top chat because God, I hate streaming. Anyway, welcome on in. Indy51, welcome in. The subject matter a little bit ago was inspired by your question, actually. I gave you some credit because we talked about line of sight in outdoor tiles. So we had this whole big thing after the... If you're watching the VOD, which I hope you do as time permits, don't let it happen again. Yeah, so thank Indy51 there for the outdoor presentation. That's why we did all of that. And if I hadn't had the wherewithal to drag all of that stuff out and set it up, somebody might not have asked about Skaven, or they might have, I don't know, flows of conversation, and I wouldn't have pulled out the Marvel Winter Special. So, hooray! No, thank you. How to enter giveaway? You have to be in the Discord, which unfortunately means you have to be past the paywall. But in the Discord, I have giveaways. I want to do a live stream and do a giveaway on stream so that anybody who is currently here could enter just from watching. But it's late enough in the day that I actually have to end the stream. So I don't want to build up tension and stuff for something that's only going to be a few minutes of excitement. But I have several things to give away. I have a couple more Sunday quests. I have the Dungeon Designer deck from Loki Battle Mat. So they sent me a copy after I made a video reviewing the copy that I had. So it's like, thank you, but I don't need a second one. Maybe they didn't know? I don't know how I got a second one. It just randomly showed up. And then I've got another, did I say Sunday Quest already? I got a Sunday Quest book to give away. And then, oh yeah, there's stuff over there that I can't see properly from here that I know I'm giving away. But the stuff, and there might be some stuff over there. I think I'm giving away a set of Axion Quest stuff. I need to look through and see what all I have. I don't want to give away something that you can't use. So I'll look. But I actually have sets of cards that I'm ready to part with, and I'm going to be doing a big giveaway. So I'll put lots of warnings and hey, I'm doing a giveaway, and you'll know ahead of time. So we'll get into things that way. But I need to learn how to do that effectively on stream instead of having people, have to get into like the Discord and stuff. But I might have another giveaway in the Discord too. In fact, I will go ahead and promise that I will have a giveaway in the Discord very soon. I have a giveaway channel, so if anybody is privy to that, get in there, check it out. And I'd like to get rid of some of this stuff that I've got. Some of this stuff I don't keep. Maybe a Santa quest. I thought about it. I wanted to do one last year. They had those little present boxes at the Dollar Tree. I wanted to do this silly little video, and I wanted to do a Night Before Christmas rhyme scheme and make my own HeroQuest before Christmas. And like Zargon shows up down the chimney and the heroes get there, but then he's like, I just came to give you gifts, and he disappears. And when the heroes roll for traps, it's like I don't even know what game I'm talking about. When the heroes search for traps, they find none. And when they open up the presents, they're just legitimate presents. Zargon wanted to give up gifts. That was going to be the video. But I missed it. Like, I got busy, and then there was no... It's Dados Daños! Hey! That's the creator of the For the Quest I was talking about. The FOR the Quest. There he is. Round of applause for our friend Dados. Hi, how are you doing? We were talking about you earlier. Actually, somebody was talking about somebody else, but then I thought they were talking about you, so I was talking about you. They were talking about For the Quest, and I was talking about For the Quest. SW Monkey Raf SW, hi there, watching you from France. I just finished the main box quest. Congratulations. Congratulations, and hello, and welcome on in. Thank you for your kind support. Cthulhu Quest has the new Rise of Saint Nick. So I didn't know that. Tony Hooper was sending me Cthulhu Quest stuff too, but he probably saw my AI stance and thought maybe I shouldn't send him any more stuff. Or maybe my videos just weren't doing him any favors. I don't know. So people are coming out with stuff. A lot more, but I want to make something that's very much handcrafted, very, very much full of soul. So I'm working on that too. That's right. At some point, you're going to see Amalgam Ashes, HeroQuest, homebrew, campaign. But I've also got other spinning plates. I'm thinking about using some tools, not AI tools. I'm thinking about using some assets that I have to remove IP and make a campaign jointly with other people. And I'm still trying to work out how to do this, but I want everybody to be able to contribute to it the same way they do the jams. So basically, you'll come into the event, you'll say, hey, I want to make a quest for your campaign. I'm okay with it being published and printed and distributed on like Amazon. And so you'll do that. You'll write your lore out, you'll send it to me, I'll edit it so that it's coherent with the rest of the quests. As far as the lore, just the narrative. I send it back. If you're okay with it, we sign off and we throw it in with the rest in the order of difficulty, because the difficulty calculator is going to get used with that endeavor. So that's something I'm wanting to do, and I don't want to make a 10 quest book. I want to make like a 50 quest book that people can buy and sit down and proudly display. That's something that I'm back burner thinking about. It would require a lot of participation from other people. I want to help. You are 1000% welcome to help. After I get a little bit more pieces in order so it mathematically makes sense to my brain, I'll set up a channel in the Discord and start getting people in. Would love to see a HeroQuest Transformers game. Why not? Yeah. 2 dice of movement if you're a car, 3 if you're a plane, 1 if you're transformed into your robot form. We want town quests. I want town quests. We will have town quests. Trust me. Did you notice the last 5 or 6 quests from the main box almost have no furniture? Don't worry. There's plenty of furniture in the online. Have you ever thought about an online HeroQuest campaign? Is it even possible? What do you mean? Like people being able to play it together? You can play it together on Tabletop Simulator. There's another website where you're able to play HeroQuest stuff together, but I don't remember what it was. Ribby dropped it in the Discord a while back. Did I miss Ribby saying hi? Was Ribby here? Did I just completely ignore Ribby? Did he show up? God, I don't know. Ribby, if you're here, hello, welcome on in. He might not be. But anyways, for some reason, I thought I happened to cross a comment or something, and then it just completely... but if it's... Yeah, I'll go in there and scroll up and see if I can find... It wasn't that long ago. It was just like a day or two ago. He mentioned, hey, anybody want to get in on this HeroQuest game? And he linked this website, and it's like, what is that? It's like, what is that? Carol Co. and C9G, greetings from Spain. Welcome to the stream. Welcome on in. Come on, we all just want Avalon Hill to release a version of Advanced HeroQuest, modular tiles, deep RPG. I would like for them to do that. I would like for them to take ownership of new design of a lot of the elements like they did for HeroQuest and revolutionize it. It'd be really cool. Dungeon Quest videos, thank you. Dr. Wu makes 2-inch Transformers figures. I used to have some really small Transformers figures. I don't remember. Yeah, they were about the size of Hot Wheels. But this was way back in the 90s. I don't know what they have now. But 11:15, I've got to go. I have a feeling I'm going to owe my wife extra coffee for all the time I've spent. So I'm going to wish you all farewell. Many skulls rolled in your adventures today, and I really appreciate all the kind attention. It has been a ton of fun chatting with you guys. I didn't have much of a plan going in today. I just knew that I wanted to stream and say something and get out, and I honestly didn't expect to have any attention kept on me whatsoever, but there were a lot of really cool new folks hopping in to say hi, so I appreciate that very much. It was lovely to meet those of you who are new, and some surprise guests also. Really, really awesome to see you guys make time to come in. Dado Sedanos. Hi to Giles. Yeah, have a nice night if it's night where you're from. Hope it's not too cold. Hope the weather's just right today. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. Oh, we gotta talk about Lone Wolf and HeroQuest too. We gotta talk about Lone Wolf. I don't wanna leave, but gotta go. So for now, I bid you adieu. I bid you hasta luego. I bid you y'all come back now. And until next time, brave heroes. Bye for now. We'll stream next week, okay? Okay, hold me to it. Hold me to it. We'll stream next week. Where's the box? Where is it? Where's the end box? Where did it go? I found it. Goodbye. Bohemius, you snuck in. Hello. Goodbye.